Today I bring all guys a super funny bank robbery movie. This was the biggest bank robbery that I have ever seen. The culprit was an idiot. He has stolen $17 million in just 2 hours. No place to contain money, he had to fill his panties. David was originally a security guard in a bank. His task brought money to the warehouse. He crushed on a colleague, Kelly. In contrast to the shy David, she was extremely bold. In order to have money to pursue her, he intended to steal money from the treasury. Taking the opportunity of his colleagues to work off, he broke into the treasury. $17 million neatly arranged in front of his eyes. He happily glued the trolley, and took the money to his car. He arranged the lumps of money neatly. His accomplices outside urged him to act quickly. Then he just threw them in car. Now his colleague was Ty. He returned to the company. Just in time, he saw David stacking money. After that, David reached the gun about to kill him. But Ty just thought that he was working overtime, and even told him to remind the boss to get more money for overtime, then turned away. He continued to put money on the car. He spent 2 hours to transfer all them in the warehouse. Then he took a broom to smash 3 cameras, took out all the surveillance recordings, and danced happily. He didn't know there was another camera that recorded the whole process. Because of too many dollars, he can't close the door. He had to push them forward. As a result, he was locked in the car. He wanted to get through the small iron door to get into the cockpit, but his butt was too big, he can't get through. Then he came up with an idea. Using duct tape to make lumps of money into a stick, and then used it to press on the accelerator. He unlocked and started the car, set the gear lever to first and broke the wall out of the company. 4 accomplices who responded appeared to pick him up and the dollar disappeared. He robbed so much money. His accomplices made him forged IDs to go to Mexico. Kelly Campbell stuffed him with $20,000 in his underwear, made him look like a gay, and promised him that she will take the rest of the money, and come to Mexico with him in a fuse. After hearing that, he could live happily a rich life with her. The security staff saw him dressed strangely at the airport. They guessed that he was a pervert man, so they let him through the door. He took out $100 from his underwear to buy a bag of dried beef. After getting off the plane, he lived a leisurely life, renting a 5-star hotel, and then go to the sea to play with sea eels, bought a bunch of bananas, drank a whole barrel of beer. Then he started to ask Kelly Campbell to urge her to hurry to Mexico. She told him to wait a few more days. He was so stupid and just believed her word. Indeed, Stephen and his accomplices didn't split the money with him, just let him be a substitute. Stephen gave his address of the hotel to the police. As the result, Mexican policemen with wanted warrants came to the hotel to arrest him. As soon as I went downstairs to buy ice, the police couldn't catch it. But he saw the wanted notice at the counter. Then was scared to hurriedly run out of the hotel, and sat into a fishing boat to escape. He called Kelly and told her to quickly bring the dollars to Mexico. Stephen forced her continue to lie to him. He saw a business card of a physical trainer in his wallet. He was Stephen. When he read Stephen's name out loud, Stephen was scared. Although Stephen was his accomplice, he didn't know his real identity. Because he was exposed, he found a skilled assassin to kill David. He arrived in Mexico, saw David, ready to take aim. At the moment of shooting, the black-faced assassin fell downstairs. It made the old men playing cards downstairs scared. The assassin walked towards David but didn't choose to kill him right now. He thought that only letting him escape can he feel the joy of shooting and killing. He was an evil person. So he wore pedaling rollerblades with both hands clinging to the cart, and followed the car to run away. He called Kelly Campbell again and told her to come save him. So she had to tell the truth. Stephen hired assassins to chase him, and $17 million has nothing to do with him. Even her love was cheating on him. After cowing all things, he felt very sad. He didn't sleep, and stayed on the road eating watermelon. The assassin suddenly appeared, grabbed the pressure cooker, and smacked him. He was fainted. When he woke up, he was in the bathtub. The assassin was trying to unload the toilet. After killing, he will stuff him into the underground pipe. He said he would pay double for him. The assassin immediately took his wallet. There was only $30 inside. After that, he held a knife in front of him, menaced him. So David was trembling. Moreover, he has liked to make clear the identity of their target. He was dumbfounded. The assassin's name was same with him. Even the date of birth, and the place. It was fate. The assassin cried and forgave him. With a bow of the head, they were siblings with different parents. David and the assassin sat by the beach talking, running on the sand, hugging each other to swim in the sea. When the killer left, He left him $50,000 and secretly kissed him. He decided to fight Stephen and threatened him to give him $6 million or he would report it to the police. With Stephen's approval, he waited at the bank and always checked his account, but he hasn't seen for 3 days. He was very angry and threatened Stephen once again. Unexpectedly, Stephen kidnapped Kelly Campbell, took her life to threaten him, and told him to suicide on an island in Africa. In order to save her, he had to buy a plane ticket to there. But his identity was revealed. 3 policemen appeared ready to arrest him at the airport. He looked back and saw the assassin. He returned to the US to kill Kelly Campbell. He told the assassin that Kelly Campbell was his lover, and he can't kill her. As soon as the assassin heard this, he decided to refuse the mission and change the ticket for him, then went to Africa and David flew back to the US to save Kelly Campbell. After that, the police arrested him. The assassin used his eyes to signal. He started to reflect on himself on the plane, and realized that he was the most failed robber in history. Taking away $17 million from the bank alone, he was cheated by Stephen's gang. When he took $20,000 to run away to Mexico and was also chased. Moreover, Stephen kidnapped Kelly Campbell to threaten him. He can't stand it anymore. He had to meet Stephen to fight. After he arriving there, he discovered that Stephen had used $17 million in mansions and luxury cars. He was so angry and looked around, and found out that Stephen was throwing a party to invite all the rich guests. He wore a luxurious Western suit, tied his hair in a ponytail, and sneaked into the basement of the villa. Then he discovered money hidden in plastic bins. Then he brought a basket of bread and fruit to invited them and mix it up in the party. Moreover, he took out a large pistol, and stuffed it in his pants, and quietly approached Stevens Jr., and put at the Jr.'s arrow, used the tape to tie him into a wooden block, and then broke the door to Kelly Campbell's room. In order to make Stephen more angry, he drove Stephen's favorite racing car. Then asked Kelly Campbell to fire to another car. While Stephen was so angry, he was overjoyed. He stepped the accelerator to escape. As a result, the car broke down but the door was okay. Stephen caught up to him and grabbed him by the hair, and pinned him on top of a van. He just looked up and saw a lot of agents. They discovered that Stephen suddenly had a large amount of money, and suspected Stephen stole $17 million, so they always were here to collect evidence. He regained his composure, and resisted Stephen, and said that he planned to rob the treasury. Stephen was an aggressive person who immediately mocked him for not being smart enough. He even admitted that he planned the whole bank robbery process. The agent recorded his words, so they had clear evidences, and immediately to arrest him and his accomplices. For the crime of bank robbery, he was sentenced to life in prison by the court. David and Kelly Campbell for being accomplices, and David was again credited with reducing the sentence to 7 years in prison. They promised to get married after being released. Time has passed for 7 years. He was released. The assassin picked him up at the camp gate with the same hairstyle as him. They drove to pick up Kelly Campbell. During in the prison, the agent recovered $15 million. But they can't find the remaining $2 million anywhere. Actually, when he sneaked into Stephen's mansion, he rolled a bucket of money into the lake. He wanted to use it to marry Kelly Campbell after being released. So he earned $2 million. Even married his lover. Since then, David and Kelly Campbell lived a happy life.